This is CTV News with Nafisa Karim.
I've avoided travel to the States for the last year and a half, but this was a hard one to pass up.
Tonight, border town baseball. Despite countrywide travel boycotts, Blue Jays fans are flocking to Seattle in hopes of a much-needed win for Canada's team. Also tonight, security concerns mount as multiple airports in BC fall victim to a short but troubling cyber attack. Plus, Adam finds out how a man facing a life and death decision chose to give back to his community. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Islanders are stepping up to the proverbial plate to cheer on the home team. The Toronto Blue Jays are up against the Seattle Mariners in a world stage showdown at the American League Championship Series. As CTV's Yvonne Raymond shows us, local fans sailing south to the Emerald City are knocking cross-border tension out of the park.
Let's go Blue Jays! Woo! Baseball fans from Vancouver Island.
Go Jays!
Woo! Go Blue Jays! Are jumping at the chance to root for a home team.
We're going to see Springer hit a dinger, hey? Yeah.
Any cross-border tension is set aside.
I've avoided travel to the States for the last year and a half, but this was a hard one to pass up.
Just go down there and enjoy yourself.
Ferry passengers keenly step aboard Victoria's Clipper run to Seattle in a special game day sailing for a service that's been harder hit by Canadians avoiding the U.S.
We're looking for new ways to engage with Canadians, right? I'm a Canadian. I understand why Canadians are reluctant to travel to the U.S., but this is a good reason. You can go down and you can feel good about being Canadian and you can feel good about supporting Canada's team. I think it's a great way for Canadians to show their pride, and of course for the company, we're pleased to be that bridge to bring people down there.
The boat is more than half full.
This series, the way Toronto's been playing, and we live in the West, I'm voting for Seattle.
The stakes are high for Toronto's Blue Jays.
Last two games, they just didn't have their bats quite on. They just need to score some more runs.
The team is coming off 2 home losses, heading into Game 3 against the Mariners.
We're just going to sweep the rest of the games.
It's a best of 7 in the American League Championship Series.
There's only 30 teams in the MLB, and Canada only has one of them, but it only takes one to win. So we'll go over to watch that.
We're very excited.
Fans have faith.
Let's go Blue Jays!
Yvonne Raymond, CTV News, Victoria.
And here at home, bars and restaurants are hoping to cash in on tonight's game. CTV's Brendan Strange shows us what the ongoing BC GEU strike, now into its 7th week, and the BC Liquor Distribution branch behind picket lines. Many bar owners are beginning to get concerned that their spirits will soon strike out.
Staff at Darcy's Pub are preparing for a very busy night, with Game 3 of the Jays Mariners series getting underway at 5 o'clock tonight.
Each game we always have the sound on, lots of TVs, 2 projectors.
The pub's general manager says each game has been bringing in a crowd, and that's good for business. Although with the ongoing BC GEU strike that has now reached into its 7th week, the liquor distribution branch is behind picket lines, meaning restocking the bar could soon become a major problem, and that won't be good for business.
We did stockpile a little bit as we knew things were coming down the pipeline, but as this continues, eventually we will definitely run out.
BC sells about $4 billion a year in liquor. That's about $10.5 million a day.
Ian Tossison with the BC Restaurant and Food Services Association says about $2.5 million of that per day is purchased by BC's food service industry.
Nothing's happening. We have no supply because we have to buy it from government warehouses or government liquor stores, and they're all behind picket lines.
With no end in sight with the labor unrest, Tossinson says soon many restaurants are going to start to feel the pinch.
I'm really concerned that the system will not be able to resupply itself once this is behind us.
His association is encouraging the province to have a plan in place for when a deal is finally met.
To bring in a 911 plan, if you will, to flood the market with product, to allow these 8,000 licensed restaurants in the province to have a fair chance to get through the Christmas season.
Tosteson says this strike should be a catalyst for change.
This is a spotlight on a distribution system that was invented decades ago.
He would like to see the system modernized for the benefit of BC's economy, preventing bar and restaurant owners like Darcy's.
I think 3 weeks is a long timeline, and we're probably looking at a much shorter one than that.
From potentially running dry, just when a flood of potential customers come to the plate. Brendan Strain, CTV News, Victoria.
Hackers briefly took over information display boards and the PA system at several North American airports, including one right here on the island. The cyber intruders used the hack to spread pro-Hamas messaging.
Hacked by Vancouver, hacked by cyber Islam, Netanyahu and Trump.
Victoria International Airport says a short audio message was uploaded through a software company that provides services to a number of airports around the world. They say there were no operational disruptions, delays, or cancellations at YYJ. Transport Canada confirms it is investigating the incident, along with similar cyber attacks at Windsor International Airport in Ontario and in Kelowna, where the information board stopped displaying flight information and instead switched to messages in support of Hamas. The screens read, quote, "Israel lost the war, Hamas won." The message also called U.S. President Donald Trump a pig. Similar messages were also played at Harrisburg Airport in Pennsylvania. A Vancouver Island mother's pain could be a final push toward changes. Her son was lost to a fatal allergic reaction in September, and now she wants greater public access to EpiPens. CTV's Andy Garland has more.
Malachi Flores' mom, Jerica, says her son loved the great outdoors.
He was hiking, he was fishing, he was always on adventures.
Tragedy struck the 14-year-old from Port Hardy a couple weeks ago while he was in Comox for hockey. After the game, he went with his uncle and mom to grab a quick bite to eat.
And that's where he grabbed like what he had thought was just like, it looked like a little cookie dough ball.
Malachi, who has a severe food allergy to nuts and always reads the labels, took a bite of the cookie dough ball, thinking it was nut-free, but it wasn't.
It had like in smaller writing the ingredients, and the first ingredient was cashews.
The teen went into anaphylaxis shortly after. Malachi accidentally didn't have the life-saving EpiPen on him, and they rushed him to meet an ambulance on their way to a hospital.
He didn't make it to the hospital.
Jerica says the tragic incident unfolded in 15 minutes. And neither the food establishment nor the first responders had an EpiPen on hand, and she wants to change that.
For everywhere that serves food to have an EpiPen.
She started an online petition called Malachi's Bill, asking government to change policy and ensure widespread access to EpiPens during emergencies.
It's the first line treatment, and when used promptly, what it does is it halts the reaction.
Food Allergy Canada, a national organization that supports the more than 3 million Canadians living with food allergies, says this tragedy highlights the need for better access to EpiPens in case of an emergency.
I do think it is time to take a hold and get serious about putting what is life-saving medication in the locations where this risk exists.
We reached out to the Ministry of Health yesterday and did not hear back by our deadline.
I just hope to save like another child's life or another adult's life. And that's like all I can do is live in honor of my son.
The petition for Malachi's Bill has surpassed 7,500 signatures already. Andy Garland, CTV News.
A jarring statistic from the BC Coroner's Service has found that suicide is second most prevalent cause of death amongst youth in BC, something the province is hoping to change. A death review panel convened by the BC Coroner's Service has issued 5 recommendations intended to reduce future suicide deaths by providing young British Columbians with better supports. The report includes the implementation of a provincial suicide risk reduction framework and takes a specific focus on creating community connections amongst youth and young adults across BC.
There is an opportunity to leverage existing facilities that are currently owned or leased by the province or municipal governments and to reimagine them as safe, secure spaces for young people to gather or connect. Such spaces could contain support services for youth, but this is not a necessity. The reality is that health is unique to the individual. And as a result, successful strategies to support positive outcomes must be tailored appropriately.
A reminder that if you or someone you know may be experiencing thoughts of suicide, a toll-free BC-wide helpline is available 24/7 at 1-800-784-2433. A first-of-its-kind clinical study is happening in Victoria, exploring the effects of psychedelics on overall wellness. The Health Canada-approved study is looking specifically at the effects of psilocybin. Participants are doing 3 weeks of group therapy before one supervised psychedelic session and then 3 more weeks of follow-up group therapy. The trial comes from Therasil, a nonprofit advocating for legal access to this type of therapy. It's partnering with Savvy Mind Victoria, which is a clinic focused on psychedelic-assisted therapies.
The majority of clinical studies in the psychedelic space are investigating depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, end-of-life distress. This is for folks who don't necessarily have that designated illness. It's everyday wellness. How can psychedelics impact your everyday, ordinary person who is going about the world just seeking to improve in wellness just a little bit more?
The research is not funded by pharmaceutical companies, but by community donors and participants. People aged 18 to 65 can apply and will need to pay a $4,500 fee. Still to come, feeling the pinch.
For some of our lower income neighbors and friends, they're really feeling these impacts significantly.
A growing number of Canadians are concerned over their personal finances. Coming up, the physical and mental toll of the rising cost of living.
Sunshine, 13 degrees in Victoria right now after hitting a high of 14 earlier in the day today. Should see a few more days in the mid-teens. Take a look at your forecast right after the break.
CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Plan, book, and safeguard your journeys. Explore the possibilities at expediacruises.ca.
Hey, West Shore Youth, looking for a fun spot to hang out? Youth nights are here. Skating, art, swims, and a place to chill. Staff-led and supervised for a safe, inclusive vibe. Check out wspr.ca for more info.
Well, Josh joins us now. Another beautiful day, but how long will this last?
Well, I think there is some rain in the forecast as we hit Saturday, and that will bring some cooler temperatures. In other parts of the island, we'll see some rain as early as tomorrow. But temperatures actually look pretty decent here right through the weekend and into early next week. We're back to 14 at Victoria, at least at the airport, 15 in Nanaimo, 17 currently in Port Alberni, a little cooler in Port Hardy at 10 degrees and a little bit of a breeze. You can see clear skies across most of the island, but look at that twist right there. Big area low pressure, and that'll start to slap some of this cloud cover and precipitation across the island over the next 24 hours. Most of the rain is going to be in the north and then along northern parts of the west coast from Tofino north. Further south of Tofino, yeah, you'll see some showers, but the steadier rain looks like early in the day, Thursday, will be further to the north. Looks fairly dry for the Victoria area tomorrow and again Friday, but it's Saturday. There's another big system that'll work its way in from the west on Saturday, and that, for at least parts of the island, especially western and northern parts of the island, could bring some heavy, steady rain. So in the north tomorrow, you get about 5 to 10 millimeters of rain and a high of around 9 degrees. And then 10 or 11 degree daytime highs for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, chance of a few scattered showers on Friday, but 30 to 50 millimeters of rain possible on Saturday, and still maybe a few more showers on Sunday. Chance of showers late in the day tomorrow for inland areas. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, high of about 12. Back to 14 with the mixed sun and cloud Friday, and then some rain on Saturday. It might be 10 to 20 millimeters worth of rain, depending on where exactly you are. A few showers on the west coast at 11 degrees tomorrow, 13 Friday, and then 70 to 90 millimeters of rain on Saturday, and that'll carry through Saturday night into early Sunday morning before it finally starts to dry up a little bit Sunday afternoon. So a soggy start to the weekend. Comox looking at 11 for a high tomorrow, so just slightly cooler than average, a little cooler than today as well. Sunshine and back to 13 Friday, but 10 degrees in the rain on Saturday. Rain as well on Saturday in Nanaimo. Lesser amounts for Comox and Nanaimo. I mean, Comox might see 10 to 15 millimeters worth of rain. Nanaimo is more like about 5 to 10. 13s in in Nanaimo tomorrow and Friday. Sunshine Friday, but rainy to start the weekend. And in Victoria, yeah, we get some rain in the forecast for Saturday as well, but probably no more than about 5 to 10 millimeters, so nowhere near as much as what we'll see elsewhere on the island. And that'll be the coolest day of the next 5 here. Otherwise, we're in the low to mid-teens, which is pretty close to average. And again, for tomorrow, looking at a mix of sun and cloud. If we see any showers, it'll be scattered and in the evening hours. CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So, average to slightly above average for most of the next 4 or 5 days, Nafisa.
All right, thanks, Josh. A new report is shedding light on the financial strain many Canadians are facing and the impact that stress is having. CTV's Scott Hurst explains the financial fears that dominate households across the country.
Having concerns and worrying about money is something pretty much all of us can relate to, but financial stress is proving to have a real-life impact far beyond our wallet, a growing impact on our overall well-being, not just our mental health, but our physical health as well. And the United Way is seeing the affordability challenges for so many Canadians become much more severe. That's according to a new survey for United Way through Leger, and more than half of Canadian residents who took part in the survey, 55%, are at the very least anxious about their personal finances. It's all adding up to more stress and much more of a burden. About 4 in 10, 41%, report actual physical stress symptoms when talking about money, and that leads to the most severe question: what happens if you ultimately can't make ends meet all of a sudden? And 42% of respondents say they would only be able to cover their basic expenses for less than 1 month if they lost their job, meaning so many of us are so dependent on each and every paycheck. Financial stress does cut across all income levels, but as you might expect, the overall physical and mental impacts, the toll is much more acute and severe for people making less money. Here's more from United Way.
As you get lower down the income spectrum, for some of our lower income neighbors and friends, they're really feeling these impacts significantly.
Data from 211 United Way's national helpline shows that calls for financial assistance have increased more than 50% just from last year and more than 60% from 2 years ago. Ultimately, that emphasizes the significant financial strain Canadians are feeling right now. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
A baby beaver is in the midst of a comeback story of a lifetime. This is Timber. The North Island Wildlife Recovery Center introduced us to her last month after she was rescued from the Cowichan River. The working theory is low water levels forced her out of her mother's dam. Since her rescue, Timber's been busy packing on the pounds and has landed some sweet new digs, which you can see her checking out here. Now, this enclosure is made of cement instead of wood, so the recovery center doesn't end up with a jailbreak situation on its hands.
That's our ultimate goal, is to release her. And so this new enclosure, when she's ready to be moved in there and doesn't need to be supervised, that's when we will start backing off as far as our contact with her, because we don't want her to become habituated.
Oh, look at that face. Timber needs to spend at least another 10 months at the recovery center before she goes back to her old stomping grounds in the Cowichan River. Coming up, Lance's story. Adam finds out what happened after a man in the Cowichan Valley was faced with a life and death decision. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Adam finds out how a man facing death created new life for himself with the support of his community on tonight's Encore Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Lance DeBray will never forget being a teenager and having his first drink of alcohol.
And I was like, whoa, where have you been my whole life? And so from then on, that's all I wanted.
And it was fun at first, Lance says, until it wasn't, until it led to doing drugs, losing access to his children, and living on the street for more than 3.5 years.
Couldn't see a way out of it. And what am I going to be sober? What am I going to do sober? We're like, how do I stop?
But then, after decades of addiction, his heart stopped, and Lance woke up in a hospital room that turned out to be his rock bottom.
It's either I change or I die.
Lance chose life, completed months of rehab, and connected with a local business owner, Will Arnold, who had shown him kindness on the street.
I saw that
that look in Lance's face where he was more focused on his well-being, which was really, heartwarming.
Lance was determined to give back to those he'd burdened and began volunteering with a group that Will had helped start, picking up garbage left by members of the street community.
Day after day you wake up and you're like, okay, I can do this.
Well, Lance worked so hard and demonstrated such a strength of character that Will says he and his fellow entrepreneurs agreed to pay him to clean up every day, which led to the local butcher, Graham Blackstock, offering Lance a full-time job.
He's solid. He's an asset to himself, to our community, and to the shop. I'd take him any day as a wingman.
Like Will considers him every day a friend, and couldn't be more proud that Lance has been sober and drug-free for more than 6 years.
And he says, I never realized how beautiful life was. And those words moved me.
Well, Lance couldn't be more grateful for the opportunities he's been given and the friendships he's made. He says the greatest gift in the new life he's chosen is returning home at the end of the day to see and support his children.
The best high in the world is I love you from my kids. That's what keeps me going.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Duncan.
That is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night. Today on CTV News, airports targeted by hackers.
Really our concern was at that point was passenger safety, including our crews.
A troubling hack at some BC airports with pro-Hamas messaging displayed on screens and played on the PA. Also tonight.
It's just going to be tough. It's not fun.
Day one of new mandatory reservation system at Horseshoe Bay Ferry Terminal. How passengers are taking to the new rules. And
that's our ultimate goal, is to release her.
A very Canadian critter comeback story, how a tiny beaver named Timber is thriving after being rescued from a BC river.
This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Travelers at YVR are urged to check their flights today after a strong smell of gas filled parts of the domestic terminal. Crowds of people were seen gathering outside the airport after the terminal was evacuated. Craig Krause is following this in the Breaking News Center. Craig, are we seeing any impacts to flights?
Well, Nafisa, the airport's website showed some delays for domestic arrival and departures. Posts on social media, though, they say travelers were prevented from entering the building, unable to collect luggage, and others were stuck on the tarmac. So YVR says it detected the smell of gas shortly after 1 o'clock throughout parts of the domestic terminal. Richmond fire and rescue crews responded and moved passengers and employees from the impacted areas. The airport says the source of the order was identified as a natural gas leak and has since been contained, and the terminal has been deemed safe. Nafisa, we're told YVR is working with the airlines to expedite passengers through security on a priority basis. The airport says there could be some minor flight delays as the influx of passengers are processed. Nafisa?
Thank you, Craig.
Yeah.
Hackers briefly took over information display boards and the PA systems at several North American airports, including 2 here in BC. The cyber intruders used the hack to spread pro-Hamas messaging. CTV's Ben Milger has more on the security implications of the breaches.
At about 5:15 Tuesday evening, the information boards at Kelowna International Airport stopped displaying flight information and instead switched to messages in support of Hamas. Israel lost the war. Hamas won, it said on screen. The message also called U.S. President Donald Trump a pig. At the same time, the PA system began to broadcast an unauthorized audio recording. Airport staff immediately contacted RCMP and Transport Canada.
After we completed that threat assessment, we determined that there was no specific threat to either the airport or the traveling public.
A photo from inside the airport shows staff talking to passengers with a megaphone. One outgoing and one inbound flight were delayed. Transport Canada confirms it is investigating the incident, along with similar cyber attacks at Victoria International Airport and Windsor International Airport in Ontario. Similar messages were also played at Harrisburg Airport in Pennsylvania. Kelowna and Victoria airports say the audio message was uploaded through a third-party software company that provides services to a number of airports around the world. In Victoria, staff quickly disconnected the system and there were no operational disruptions, delays, or cancellations. Cybersecurity firm Fortinet tracked more than 12 billion cyber attacks in Canada in the first half of 2025.
Constant threat exposure management is key, making sure staff are educated. It's no different than workplace safety in any other organization. Cyber has to become a regular conversation around that. Cybersecurity awareness is super critical in every organization.
RCMP and the Canadian Centre for Cybersecurity have opened investigations into the hacks. Ben Milger, CTV News, Vancouver.
It's the first day of the new mandatory reservation system at the Horseshoe Bay Ferry Terminal. A major renovation of the terminal has limited the room for overflow traffic. CTV's Martin McMahon is live at Horseshoe Bay. Martin, you've been talking to passengers, so how do they feel about the changes?
Well, Nafisa, some mixed feelings down here. Some people like the romance of taking a chance, even if it means the occasional multi-sailing wait. But it is worth noting that the majority of people were actually making reservations before this system kicked in today. This all comes as BC Ferries begins work on significant redevelopment of the terminal, which will take years to complete. That work will lead to the temporary removal of 25% of vehicle space here, which is why this mandatory reservation system is being brought in for those heading to Nanaimo.
It's just going to be tough. It's not fun. Because you're not always going to be able to reserve for yourself. And what if I need to? Because there's only limited reservations that you can have.
I see the traffic here all the time, and it really needs to be cut down. And this new mandatory reservation system with the booking online will help for sure, definitely.
This change is really about keeping people safe and keeping traffic moving while we rebuild one of our oldest and busiest terminals. Horseshoe Bay is more than 65 years old, and a lot of the infrastructure, so the elevated vehicle structure, the control tower, the berths, they all need major upgrades.
BC Ferries has also introduced a booking alert system for Horseshoe Bay to Departure Bay, so you can sign up for a full sailing in the event a spot opens on a first-come, first-served basis. Also worth noting that this mandatory reservation system is only in place one way, so that's from the Lower Mainland to Nanaimo on that Horseshoe Bay route. And there is some flexibility here for people still getting used to this change. BC Ferries is waiving the change fee if you're switching from one sailing to another, and that fee being waived will last through the end of November. Nafisa?
Martin, thank you. A jarring statistic from the BC Coroner's Service, which has found that suicide is the second most prevalent cause of death amongst youth in BC. Our Legislative Bureau Chief Rob Buffum joins us live from Victoria. Rob, these are troubling findings, so what's being done to address this?
Well, they are indeed, Nafisa. BC's chief coroner commissioned a death review panel to look into ways to prevent these tragic losses. That panel presented its report today, noting that there were 453 youths and young adults aged 9 through 25 who died by suicide from 2019 through 2023, and it set out its recommendations for preventing further tragedies. The recommendations include creating and implementing a province-wide suicide risk reduction framework that is focused on youth and young adults, as well as creating an educational model for doctors, nurses, and paramedics to help them identify warning signs.
The number of young lives lost to suicide in BC has remained relatively unchanged over the last several years. Little progress has been made in terms of understanding, recognizing, and reducing risk. There is also a danger in associating the absence of an increase in the number of lives lost to suicide with the overall mental health of young people in this province.
The death review panel also found that death by suicide was disproportionately high, as much as 4 times higher in First Nations communities. Previous recommendations from a death review panel about 5 years ago went largely ignored. The health minister today said that they are reviewing the 5 recommendations in this report. The death review panel hopes that in light of all this information, that review quickly turns to action. Nafisa.
Rob Buffum live in Victoria. Thank you, Rob. The federal government has announced new funding for affordable homes in Vancouver.
more British Columbians will have access to the safety and stability of their own home. It's a chance for a fresh start for many, including some of the most vulnerable in our community.
Along with the province and city of Vancouver, Ottawa announced a $69 million investment to help build 112 new affordable rental homes in the city. These homes will be located in a sustainable 9-story building at 1220 Seymour with retail businesses on the ground floor. This comes after last month's announcement of a $1.5 billion top-up in loans to support the creation of 5,000 new homes. More people seem to be buying homes across Metro Vancouver as prices continue to decline. That is according to a new report from Royal LePage. It says more inventory, along with declining home prices and borrowing rates, is adding to the surge. In Greater Vancouver, the average home price decreased just over 3% year over year and is down just below 2% from last quarter. The BC Real Estate Association says sales were up 4.4% in September compared to last year. After the break, we've got your rinkside report.
Deflected back, Schneiderud, he scores!
A slow start to the season for the Vancouver Canucks. So how is the team looking to fire up the offense as they head out on a 5-game road trip? And CTV News at 5 returns.
The Rinkside Report, brought to you by
CapitalDirect.ca. Let's make your vision a reality with Capital Direct.
Welcome back. After a win in their season opener last week, the Vancouver Canucks turned in a pair of uninspiring performances to fall to 1-2 on the season. The team will need to regroup as they head out on a 5-game road trip. Here's CTV's Ben Nesbitt with this week's Rinkside Report.
Walker joining the rush. Texier to Walker, and he scores!
Coming off a disappointing season, the Canucks are hoping for a strong start to begin this campaign. But after getting outscored 8-2 in their last 2 games, the stakes have been raised for their upcoming road trip.
You certainly can't win a playoff spot over these next 5 games, but you can see one slip away if you have a very poor road trip.
Vancouver will be without their first-round pick centerman, Braden Coots, who will be heading back to junior for the rest of the season, opening up a spot at a position the team already lacked depth in, putting more pressure on Elias Pettersson, who's recorded just 1 point and 3 shots on goal so far.
If he continues to be quiet, I think you get closer and closer to a day where Jim Rutherford and Patrick Alvin have to make a trade for a center iceman and have to grossly overpay to get that center iceman.
I want 3 shots a game or even more, but maybe that's a reflection that we got to create a little more. I got to be better.
One of the bright spots for the Canucks has been the play of goalie Thatcher Demko, who's looked more like the guy who almost won the Vezina Trophy 2 years ago after battling injuries last year.
His performance in those first couple of games, particularly the game in Edmonton, where he was all-world and gave them a chance to win the game in the third period when really they had no business being in that hockey game.
The Canucks will be in Dallas Thursday night to face the Stars before heading to Chicago to take on the Blackhawks on Friday. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News, Vancouver.
The Rinkside Report, brought to you by Capital Direct.
CapitalDirect.ca.
Well, hey, all you cats and kittens, we've got some furry friends who need to find forever homes. Our Homeward Bound segment is coming up. And later, she was rescued from a BC river this past summer. We'll show you how a tiny beaver named Timber is now thriving. Plus, we've got Anne's forecast. We'll be right back. Another beautiful day out there, and I really like these days where it's crisp and cold, but it's cool enough at night that you can actually get to sleep.
Exactly, and beautiful enough during the day to walk around and enjoy the sunshine as we saw today. Different story as we head into tomorrow with this low pressure system offshore, bringing in some wet weather for the north coast and central coast and slowly sliding its way down towards the northern tip of Vancouver Island. So this is what it looks like as we head through the overnight hours. It will be pretty soggy for the north coast, Haida Gwaii stretching down down to the Central Coast into tomorrow morning for your early morning commute, and then it makes its way down towards Vancouver Island. We will see increasing cloud coverage as we head through the afternoon hours, but it will stay dry for the South Coast, and it'll stay nice and bright for the southern interior. From Kamloops right down to Surrey, with temperatures between 13 and 15 degrees. Blue skies, sunshine for Nelson and Cranbrook, as well as Revelstoke, temperatures between 11 and 12 degrees. You'll see periods of rain along the coast for Bella Coola with a high of 8. Scattered showers from Prince George right down to Williams Lake. Temperatures between 9 and 11 degrees for the northern half of the province. For the most part, you're looking at a few showers. 11 degrees for Prince Rupert, 10 for Terrace, but Smithers enjoy a mix of sun and cloud with a high of 8 degrees. For the North Island, rain as mentioned for Port Hardy, 9 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, a few sunny breaks and 11s for Campbell River and Comox. For the South Island, periods of rain for Tofino, 11 degrees, overcast skies for Port Alberni. Other than that, from Nanaimo right down to Victoria, you'll enjoy a mix of sun and cloud with temperatures between 13 and 14 degrees. Sunny breaks for the Sunshine Coast and 11, mostly sunny skies up the Sea to Sky Highway for Whistler and Squamish, and for us across the Lower Mainland, mostly cloudy skies, temperatures between 12 degrees near the water, 15 degrees further inland, and then it clears up on Friday. Enjoy it, because as we head into the weekend, we'll see periods of rain on Saturday with a few showers on Sunday. Monday, drier, but still cloudy with some sunny breaks and a high of 12 degrees.
It's lovely while it lasted.
Exactly.
Thanks, Anne. It is time for Homeward Bound, our weekly segment where we introduce you to some furry friends from local rescues who are looking for their forever home.
Here are some from the BCSPCA who are ready to meet their match.
All right, meet Lola Bunny, a 3.5-year-old Pity Mountain Cur mix, is described as strong, smart, and seriously snuggly. She loves physical activity and knows her commands. She still needs some leash training. Now, if you're driven, active, and strong, Lola might just be your perfect match, and you can meet her today at the BCSPCA Vancouver branch.
Adorable. And Piper, this sweet pup, with one blue eye and one brown, is currently being fostered, but looking for her forever home. The BCSPCA says she'd do best as the only dog in an adult or older kid home. Piper has a health condition which requires her to be on a hypoallergenic diet and omega supplements. If you're ready for a loyal, low-key companion, contact the BCSPCA's Vancouver branch.
Now one for the cat lovers. This is Toby, a 5-year-old fluff ball described as cuddly, quirky, and full of personality. He likes affection on his own terms, though. He's not a fan of being picked up and would prefer a calm, child-free home. He's on a special urinary care diet to maintain a health condition, but it's pretty easy to manage. Toby is available to adopt at the SPCA Richmond branch.
Adorable. And for more information, head to adopt.spca.bc.ca.
Thank you, Anne.
You're welcome.
Well, a search is underway for a rescue dog who went missing at YVR last week. Tommy, a 6-month-old Jindo Corgi mix, arrived from South Korea October 9th. But before he could meet his new family, the 20-pound pooch escaped an outdoor pet enclosure and has been on the loose since. Now, anyone who sees him is urged to call Pet Searchers Canada. He may run away if he's chased. After the break, big improvements for a tiny beaver rescued from a BC river. But first, hi, baby! A reunion years in the making, how a former service dog made a cross-country journey to be reunited with an Air Force officer. Stay with us.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Wake up and start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could be $20,000 richer. Simply watch CTV Your Morning Vancouver for the hourly code word. Then enter it online at ctvvancouver.ca for your chance to win. Imagine what you could do with an extra $20,000. CTV Your Morning's $20,000 giveaway. Watch CTV Your Morning Vancouver, weekday morning 6 to 9.
The eldest daughter of a nobleman, Ophelia lived in fantasy.
Taylor Swift is on a record-setting roll. All 12 songs from her latest album, The Life of a Showgirl, have filled the top spots on the Billboard Hot 100. It's the first album ever to place all of its songs in an uninterrupted string at the top of the chart. Now with a preview of CTV News at 6, Mi-Jung Lee.
Nafisa, we are learning more about a terrifying extortion shooting that injured a young woman. Sinjin Alexander spoke with some of the people living in the house that was riddled with bullets over the weekend. One of those bullets injured a woman who was sleeping, piercing her near her shoulder. And construction is starting today at the Horseshoe Bay Ferry Terminal, and it means big changes for travelers. Anyone taking their car to Nanaimo must reserve. We'll have a live report from the scene. And some hectic moments at YVR. Part of the domestic terminal was evacuated because of the smell of gas. We'll tell you what happened at 6. Nafisa?
Thanks, Mi-Jung. A rare hyena stars in a prize-winning photo, wowing judges of a worldwide contest. Plus, a military dog is retired and finds a new home with a familiar face. We'll take a look at this. Here's CNN's Patrick Cornell.
Get a gander at this haunting image of a brown hyena standing in front of an abandoned building in a former diamond mining town in Namibia. The prize-winning pic beat out more than 60,000 entries to claim the 2025 Wildlife Photographer of the Year award. The annual contest celebrates the world's best nature photography and wildlife photojournalism. Brown hyenas are so rare, organizers say it took the South African photographer a full decade to capture one on camera. The eerie photo shows how wildlife is reclaiming a ghost town after being abandoned by people. This photo, titled After the Destruction, took home the title for Young Wildlife Photographer of the Year, open to photographers age 17 and under. It shows a longhorn beetle in central Italy posing in front of abandoned logging machinery. Award organizers also highlighted this picture of an orphaned giant anteater trailing its caregiver at a rehab center for the Impact Award, which recognizes conservation success stories. All winning photographs will be on exhibit at the Natural History Museum in London. And it was a family affair for this lovely reunion.
Is that my chicken? Hi, baby!
Air Force Technical Sergeant Tara Cummins and 8-year-old Belgian Malinois Erica spent 2 years as partners, including 3 overseas deployments and work for the Secret Service. Erica, highly trained in explosives detection and suspect apprehension. In June, the pair were separated when Cummins was reassigned from a joint base in New Jersey to Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. Their time apart didn't last long. Cummins recently found out Erica would be retiring, and the American Humane Society offered to help them reunite, flying Erica from New Jersey to Texas so the pair could get back together. Technical Sergeant Cummins and her wife welcomed Erica to her forever home, and they say they plan to give her the best retirement. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Erica flying like a queen.
Amazing.
Listen, a baby beaver is in the midst of the comeback story of a lifetime. This is Timber. The North Island Wildlife Recovery Center introduced us to her last month. She was rescued from the Cowichan River. Now, the working theory is low water levels forced her out of her mom's dam. Now, since her rescue, Timber has been packing on the pounds. She's landed some sweet new digs, which you can see her checking out here.
That's our ultimate goal. Is to release her. And so this new enclosure, when she's ready to be moved in there and doesn't need to be supervised, that's when we will start backing off as far as our contact with her, because we don't want her to become habituated.
And they have to put her in a concrete enclosure, Anne, because she'd chew through the wood. She'd escape.
Yeah.
She'll be there for the next 10 months before she's released to her old stomping grounds.
Adorable. How could you release her? She's so cute.
Oh, she needs to be back with her people.
She sure does. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot tonight. A double rainbow in Dresden, Alberta. Thanks, Cheryl, for sending this one in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
All right, Mi-Jung will be back for CTV News at 6. Right now, here is Sandy Ronaldo with CTV National News. We'll see you tomorrow.